Our first Photoshop lesson, I'm going to be showing you how to make and name layers while we create a fun hamburger. Oh, it's already there. Make a new one. All right, so you're going to go to File, you're going to go to New, you're going to select Default Photoshop Size, and let's call it your last name and hamburger. So I'm calling it Hayami Hamburger. And I'm going to say OK. All right, so I would always like you to get in the habit of creating a new layer when you start a doc. Don't work on your background layer. So I created a new layer. It's called Layer 1. But I would also like you to get in the habit of naming your layers. So I'm going to call this one Bottom Bun. All right, so you're going to be learning how to use layers and the brush tool. So I'm going to select my brush tool, and I'm going to hold it down to just make sure I'm on brush tool and not any of the other things that are under the brush tool. And I'm on my bottom bun layer, so I'm going to go over here and get a color that looks to me like a bottom bun. Now, this brush is really, really tiny. So what I'd like to do instead is to increase the size of the brush. Now I could just go up here and just adjust it by pulling this, but I want to make it bigger, faster, and I may be working on more complex documents, and this is a good shortcut. So you're going to use your right hand bracket, which is over here under the delete key on your keyboard. Oh, well, to the left and under. Anyway, so I'm going to use it and tap it until I get my bottom bun as big as I can fit on this canvas. Okay, so there we go. And I'm just going to push down, and there's my bottom bun. All right, so I'm going to add a new layer. I'm going to call this layer Burger. And I'm going to go over here. Oops, so my brush is still the same size as my bottom bun, and usually burgers are slightly smaller, so I'm going to click the left hand bracket to make it a little smaller, and that's not the color I want for my burger. So I'm going to go over here and select brown, but I don't love that color for a burger. So I'm going to I double clicked on it, and I'm going to kind of pull this down a little bit. Yep, that looks better to me. And I'm just going to click down, and I have my burger. Okay, so you're going to make a new layer, and this is up to you what you add to your burger on these layers. It has to have a top bun and a bottom bun and a burger, but that's about all, and it has to have 8 layers. So I'm going to call this layer Lettuce. And I'm going to add some lettuce to my burger, but I don't want that size brush, so I'm going to click the left hand bracket again to make it a little smaller. And I'm going to get this color for my lettuce. That looks pretty blue. Do that color. Okay. And then I'm just going to paint in a lettuce leaf. It looks like a big green blob, but I can make it look better. And again, the amount of detail you put on this is up to you. It shouldn't take you more than like 20 minutes to do this layer project though, because there are more exciting things we could be doing. I'm gonna just put a few details on there just to show you. A little spine down the back of the lettuce. And a few of these. All right, lettuce layer is finished. So I'm gonna add another layer. It's my 4th, so I'm halfway done. I'm going to call it Tomato. And I am going to get a nice red color over here, use my brush again, making it bigger. Tomato is going to be really big. And put my tomato over here. And what you're probably thinking right now is you're covering up everything you already did. And I am, but it's no biggie, because what I can do to see what I've already done is click on these eyes, and I can see the layers beneath, which is how I'm going to check your layers when I grade this. So I want a little more detail on my tomato. I'm going to click over here, the inside of the tomato color. Yep, looks good to me. And make it slightly smaller. Click that down, and then go back and put in a few more details. Some sections right here. I could add seeds if I wanted to, but I'm trying to get this done for you guys. Oops. So look, I went over into the lettuce, so that won't work. That's messy. So I'm going to hit Command and Z to undo what I just did. And if you need to undo more than one thing, there's 2 different ways to do that. You can go to Edit and step backwards. And you can see that up there, and that's stepping backwards even more times. Or you can do Option Command Z to step backwards again. All right, so I've got my tomato, and I am going to add cheese. I just want to show you the cheese because that way you can learn one more tool while we're doing this. So we're going to go over here, we're going to select the shape tool, and we're going to get the rectangle tool because I'm going to make a piece of American cheese. I'm going to choose this color over here, and I'm going to click down and just drag out a rectangle. Okay, so there I have my cheese. So I'm going to add one more thing over here. It's my next layer. I'm going to call it pickle. Actually, I'm going to add more than one. And I'm going to get my brush tool again and select a nice pickle color and make it bigger using the brackets. I'm going to put 2 pickles over here and a different color for the inside. Actually look more like olives, but we'll just go with it. And so now I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, perfect. Last layer I'm going to make from scratch over here is called ketchup. I'm going to go over here. I'm going to get a nice red. Oops, I don't want my brush that big, so I'm going to use the left-hand brackets to make it smaller. And I'm going to put ketchup on my burger. Now you can get fancy, you can put whatever you want on your burger. So now I have my 7 layers. What I'm going to do the top bun layer is I'm going to click on the bottom bun. I'm going to go up here to layer, duplicate layer, and I'm going to call it top bun. And say okay. Now it's way down there still at the bottom, so I'm going to click on it and drag it all the way to the top. Oh, and just drop it. And I don't think that this is like the best top bun, so it needs some kind of detail. So I'm going to add some seeds to it. And you can add whatever you want. Very messy. All right, so there you go. You have your 8-layer burger, and you've learned to use the brush tools and the layers and to name your layers, and also a tiny bit about the shape tool. When you're done with this, I want you to go to File. I want you to go to Save. And it's already called hayamihamburger.psd. And I want you to save it to the desktop. Hit Save down here. Once you've done that, you can upload it to Google Drive and share it with me. And you're done with your first lesson.